Hey, what's going on guys? Tanmay here for Telusco Learnings and welcome back to another video tutorial under JavaScript for beginners, especially the JQuery part wherein we were discussing about effects in JQuery. So in the previous couple of videos we've seen different effects, predefined effects in JQuery, and I told you that there is a callback argument which is passed in those effects, but we haven't really looked into what is callback, and we'll also see what is chaining, okay? So as you can see, this is the code that we've been using in the past couple of videos for the effects part. So we have a button which I have named as toggle. Then we have a division with id first div and class mydivs. Inside that we have two paragraphs and we have one more div with the same class and id as second div. Then we have loaded the jQuery over here and we have one more script tag inside which we have document.ready method, that is that event, and whatever jQuery we will type it over here inside that ready function or ready method. We also have a separate style sheet which is styling this division, which is giving this blue border and the red color to the paragraph. You can change this to something else also. Okay, so I did it dark cyan and so on and so forth. So this is something that we've done. Let's see what is this callback. Okay, now let's say you want to perform fade toggling of this division. Okay, so let's select that division. I'm going to say $. I'm going to use the selector. We already know what is selector. I'm going to use the id of the first division. I'm going to say hash because it is an id selector. I'm going to say dot fade toggle. Okay, and this has to happen on the click event, right? On the click of this button. So let's first do that. So the button id is btn toggle. So again I'm going to say $. I'm going to say dot. Okay, I forgot to add the hash, so I'm going to say dot click. Inside the click method we have to create an anonymous function. I'm going to say function, opening and closing round brackets of the function, opening and closing curly braces of the body of that function, and inside this I'm going to copy and paste this entire thing. Okay, so whenever I click this, you can see it is fading out and fading in. Now we also know that we can pass the timing. So if I pass 3000, it will take 3 seconds to fade out the complete paragraph, right? So if I click on this, you can see it is slowly fading out and it takes 3 seconds. Now what if you want to add a message that the entire division is faded out after you call this fade toggle method? Okay, that is this effect. So here I'm going to say alert division is faded. Okay, so after you call this fade toggle, you're calling an alert method which is saying division is faded. Let's give this a higher number. Let's give it 5000 milliseconds. So it will take 5 seconds for this entire division to be faded, right? Now if I click on this toggle, you can see even before this entire division is faded, the alert box has already come, right? So you can see that what happened is, typically what happens, the jQuery code runs line by line, right? But in effects what happens is, even when the effect is not completed, the line next to the effect is already executed because it is not properly chained, or it is because it is not used as a callback. So what a callback does is, a callback is basically you telling that call something only after the effect is done. Okay, so if you say comma over here, you can create a callback function. So to create that, you can again create anonymous function. So I'm going to say function, opening and closing round brackets of the function, opening and closing curly braces of the body of that function, and here I can do that alert. So now what has happened is, first the fade toggle will happen and it will take 5 seconds for the entire division to fade out, and only after that this callback function will be called, and this callback function is having this alert method. So the alert method will be called only after 5 seconds. So if I click on this, it will take 5 seconds for this to completely fade out, and only then this pop-up is shown, that is this alert method is called because it is a callback function. Okay, now again if I click on this, it will first fade in, it will take 5 seconds, and only then the pop-up alert box will be coming. So now it is properly synchronized, right? So this is what the callback does. So callback method is typically used when you're doing effects and when you want some functionality to occur only after the complete effect is done. Okay, so this is callback, and it is possible pretty much with all the effects in jQuery. So if you're using slide down, so even then, or let's do slide toggle, and in the method alert I'll say slide toggling done. Okay, so let's give this a smaller time, 3000 milliseconds. So the first parameter is the time duration in which the animation should happen, that is the effect should happen, and the second parameter is the callback. Okay, so you can completely remove this and this will still work. Okay, but if you just have an alert over here, it will be called before the toggling has happened. So if I click on toggle, immediately the alert box will be shown and the slide toggle will happen afterwards. You don't want that to happen, right? So that's why you give the callback. So you just put a comma over here and put that callback function over here. So another way what you can do is you can create another function. Let's say print msg. Inside that you can call that alert. You can say effect done, and along with the milliseconds, the second argument is the callback, right? So all the effects have this feature, that is first parameter is the time and duration in milliseconds, or you can have slow and fast, and then the second parameter is usually the callback function. So here you can pass print message. Okay, so if I just pass this, even this will work. So if I click on it, you can see first the slide toggling is happening and then the message is done. Effect shown is called because this function is called. So either you can do an anonymous function over here without the name, or you can create a separate function and pass the name of that function over here. So this was callback. Let's see what is chaining. So in chaining, what you can do is you can perform multiple effects one after the another. So what if you want to perform slide up and slide down? So what I can do is, on the click of this button, what I want is I want slide up first. Other part, I want slide up first, so I'm gonna say slide up, and instead of again copy pasting this and putting it on the new line, I want and other part and saying slide down. So this is one and the same thing. Okay, so if I click on this, first slide up is happening, then slide down is happening, right? Let's give it a duration of 2000 so that it happens slowly. So if I click on this button, first slide up is happening, then slide down is happening. So instead of doing this in two lines, what you can do is you can put this on one single line. So first slide up, then you can put a dot operator in between, and then you can say slide down. So you can see first slide up is happening, then slide down is happening. And you can also add one more thing over here. Let's say fade out 1000 seconds, and again you can say fade in, let's say 3000 milliseconds. So all these four things will happen one by one, starting from the left to right. So they are just separated by dot, but you're doing it in one single line rather than using the selector over and over again. So if I click on this, first slide up, then slide down, then fade out, then fade in. So you can see four things happen in one single line. So this is chaining effects. Okay, you're chaining one effect after another by using the dot operator, and you're doing it in one single line. So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. This was about the callback feature and the chaining of effects. I hope you have understood these two concepts. You can use it in JQuery effects. And that's it for this video, guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Do share it with your friends.